and Brazilian Torcidas, and the British Hooligans. Thus, ultras groups were established, born to represent the distinct cultures and traditions from which they originated. Taking inspiration from the time of city-states, in which autonomous cities would defend their identity and their interests against others, ultras value the defense of their territory, which is a feeling that has its roots in the historical age.
Oh my God.
They are the most fanatic supporters of a team, representing a sort of 12th man.
Contributing to what's happening on the field, there's like no feeling like it.
An ultra is...
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They are definitely part of the game. These crowds, I mean, fan to fan, like fans of opposite teams or clubs, like that's a big rivalry. That's intimidating for the other, right? As well as this got to affect the players too. I mean, this could literally, versus just a quiet, boring crowd, this changes the whole pace and feel of the game for everyone. It's got to. It's craziness, man.
It's constantly committed to the club, setting up for match days and social events during the week, attending training sessions and youth games, and showing up hours ahead of match day for any last-minute preparations.
Jeez.
Away matches are especially important. It's where one proves
Shit gives me the chills, man.
We played in Bremen, and there were 20,000 people coming to the game, and 16,000 from St. Pauli.
And the opportunity to show off your pride in another territory.
Ooh, boy.
This comes in the form of choreographies, flags, chants, banners, and fanzines.
This has got to be a hell of an adrenaline rush, yeah? You got to tell me about that. You ever been part of these? Please share your thoughts down below. This is insane.
The strongest
I don't know what to say.
These rituals are usually reserved for anniversaries of the clubs, legendary players, the fan groups.
Look at that.
themselves,
How?
Derbies, rivalry
Where do they
games,
get this
and
stuff?
finally, big cup matches. Ultras have always been characterized by their rebellious nature. Unlike the British, whose support largely rides on reacting to what's happening on the pitch, Ultras make their own show, beyond the result.
Look at that.
Whoa.
A month before?
Jeez.
Wow, they're investing time and money into
Drums,
this.
flares,
That's a whole nother level of fandom compared to here in the U.S., man. You have mostly casual fans that watch on TV. You have slightly above casual fans that watch on TV and maybe go to a game or two a year. Then you have slightly above that maybe they'll buy the hats or they'll buy jerseys or whatever. But it's not, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just casual. I don't know anyone that's a Bears fan that does quite this level of dedication, not to mention a whole group, right? There might be some very small numbered, like super fans in the U.S., but the problem is it's not thousands of them that create this unbelievable like army for the team. That, as far as I know, doesn't really exist here. It's nowhere near as common, if not at all.
megaphones, smoke bombs, the opportunity to freely express a collective idea and a unity of devotion all contribute to this atmosphere. Whenever possible, Ultras will march through a city in a corteo, making sure their presence is well known. The group mentality is essential to being an Ultra. Rivalry and friendship are the most confusing and turbulent parts of Ultras culture. Of course, there are derbies between two teams of the same city or town, but the motivation behind friendships and distances between these relationships can be truly remarkable.
That is a good point. Yeah, rivalries have a special level of rivalry when it's the same town. So in my case, even though I'm wearing a NFL fan, wearing a Bears hat, I'd say I'm the biggest fan of baseball still, which is rare. Most people even in the U.S. are kind of over baseball nowadays. I like baseball. It's why I played the most growing up. And there is definitely a fierce rivalry between Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs. Whenever you have two teams in the same market, it can get pretty heated. But it's nothing like this. Don't worry, it's nothing like this. This is crazy. But I can relate to that rivalry thing. I just can't imagine how intense it would be on this level.
Despite being rivals, Genoa and Sampdoria both have a friendship with Boca Juniors for their connection of immigrants established in the club. Crvena Zvezda's Delier, Olympiacos Gate 7, and Spartak Moscow's Fratria have a connection based on being the dominant team from three Orthodox nations. Just as Ultras took inspiration from political protest, The actions of ultra groups have been influenced by political ideologies ranging from avowed nationalists to anti-fascists. For example, Celtic's Green Brigade, who forge international links and friendships with other anti-fascist ultra groups across Europe on political grounds, as can be seen with their friendship with German side St. Pauli. While on the contrary, Lazio's Irriducibili consider Livorno and Atalanta among their biggest rivals due to their political stance. Lazio's ultras consider themselves to be far-right, while Livorno and Atalanta fans are left-wing. In recent decades, the culture has become a focal point for the movement against the commercialization of sports and football in particular. Big TV contracts have left stadiums empty, ticket prices are on the rise, and players seem to live in a different reality, where loyalty is lost and the chance of signing for a higher wage bill wins over the chance of acquiring legendary status amongst a group of fans. To ultras, football at the highest level often feels like a sanitized product, built more for those in the main stand and in commercial suites than for the most devoted fans behind the goal.
So remember, I don't know about this. I'm learning about it. But judging from what I'm gathering there, just like a lot of sports today, NASCAR, Formula One, definitely NFL football here, basketball, whatever, right? Like a lot of sports that I'm aware of. Unfortunately, it's pretty universal. They've all gone a little bit downhill, right? They all become more greedy, more corporatized, and they lose some of their flair. They lose a lot of their substance. And admittedly, sports for me used to mean much more here, and they've just gotten more boring, honestly, in the U.S. Now, I'm not saying that for football in Europe because I'm not qualified to say it. I don't know about it. I'm learning about it. But that's maybe what I'm gathering, that even this amazing sport with incredible fan bases, it's not the fan bases that are necessarily getting worse or going down. Not at all. But the sport itself, again, based on money and greed and sponsors and corporate this and that, like maybe is that true also? That's like he's alluding to, it's going downhill slightly. That's a shame if it is, because this sport looks incredible, right? And it's something I've never got to experience. I've never, unfortunately, I've never paid attention to, right? I was always into other things, and it is pretty wild from the outside looking in. So I don't know if you guys want to weigh in on if it's as good as ever or if it's slightly going downhill. Either way, if the fandom is kept up at an amazing level, no one can take that away. So
simultaneously, authorities continue to innovate new forms of repression against fans.
That sucks. That's annoying. When you're not allowed to go have fun and support your team on a crazy level, that's annoying.
Bans on pyro, megaphones and drums, bans on standing room and away travel have had little to no impact of instances on stadium violence. Today, maneuvering the minefield of stadium laws has become a nightmare. These laws have been introduced under the guise of reducing instances of violence at football, but have
Look, I get at the end of the day, people want to be safe. I'm all about safety, of course, right? Everyone wants to go home and to their family and have a good night's sleep, right? But it's a freaking game. It's a sports arena. It's not a library, right? You don't want to come there and sit down and be, a zombie and be quiet. Like, you want to have fun. Come on. Don't put a damper on the fun.
Largely had the adverse effect of killing the atmosphere at many grounds. The fringe elements of these groups, who seek out physical confrontation, continue to operate, as security forces hopelessly seek to curb it through football-specific legislation. This has left fans feeling criminalized, suspicious that states and corresponding football federations would rather see them banished from the game. Whatever your club or political affiliation, the breadth of ultras culture around the world is a testament to this beautiful game. At times, this passion can escalate into violence, but this is not an ultras problem, but a societal one. An ultras group's existence revolves around intense, coordinated support for their team through vibrant displays during matches, making noise on the terraces, and highlighting, publicizing, and furthering issues affecting their local territory and in solidarity with other supporter communities. In Egypt, the ultras of Al Ahly and Zamalek have largely been credited for their pivotal role in the uprising of the Egyptian revolution.
Wow.
These are just a small number of the incredible initiatives regularly organized by nearly every ultras group in the world. Like all groups, ultras are hard to stereotype and even harder to define. But one thing is for sure, they are not all criminals, and when it comes to football, they remind us of a purer game. one in which you go out and support your team regardless of the names on the back of the shirt, turning friends into family and being proud of where you come from.
Yo, dude, some of these maneuvers are insane, man. With the signs and the banners and flags and all that, it is wild.